Can you tell us more about what is Old Regular Baptist? So Casey was raised missionary Baptist. We went to just a Baptist church.
Both of those churches belong to the Southern Baptist Convention.
Right.
So there's a lot of similarities in the two churches that we attended, but this seems to be something different.
No, it's
a lot that we share,
right.
but there's a lot. Yeah. So tell us about that.
So if you want to back up to the colonial days, you had the regular and the separates that were already forming within the colonies, and they kind of blended in with those particulars from Great Britain. So early on, and as they started moving out, they kind of migrated down to Southwest Virginia, which then, of course, borders along to the Eastern Kentucky line, Eastern Tennessee, which has a lot of the same topography, a lot of the same people, some into North Carolina. And you can kind of trace their roots settled in this area in the right at the turn of the 1800s. What was unique about them is that what made them different, so to say, they weren't always called Old Regular Baptists. They were primitive. There was primitive, there was regular, there was particular, old line, old school. You have all these different names. And the first split that happened among them was that the regular Baptist actually started courting mission boards. And so it really got into this issue of, are we going to support, do we buy into missions? And so there was a sect that kind of broke off. They distinguished themselves as old regular, because they held more to the old line faith. And you know what was really crazy, as they continued to split and splinter, which is, and for anybody that's Baptist on here, I was Baptist my entire life. So this is not meant to be in any derogatory statement at all. But especially where I grew up, if there was any kind of disagreement in a church, you would have a splinter, and then now you have two churches or two religions, two denominations of churches, and really you're splitting semantics. So as this thing began to split, now we're talking just over the course of maybe 250 years, they began to really have a hard time with things like preachers who were being sent to seminary, Sunday school, music in church. So I don't know that we really started splitting over doctrinal issues as much as people were just kind of drawing lines in the sand. They were digging in and saying, hey, so what I actually came from was the old hard line that was anti-mission board, anti-Sunday school. They were anti-music in church. I mean, I'll sit here and actually had to do a little bit of research myself, honestly, because after a while it gets so muddy that you don't even know why we're fighting anymore.